Thanks, Paul.
I love those glasses.
Thanks.
I'm jealous. I really hope my vision gets bad soon. Or at least eventually. Could you turn the number 2 knob, which is my headphone, not the fader.
No.
Fader stays where it's at.
Okay.
But there's number 2 over, there's 4 knobs.
Yeah.
Number 2 down. That is great.
Thank you.
Thank you. How's the volume for you in your headphone?
Loud.
So that'll be number 1, your headphone 1. Actually, give 2 just a little tiny bit up. Check. Yeah, that's good.
Great. I love it.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Elk Lodge podcast. So we said it in the last episode with Pacifica, but we are moving to Tucson, Arizona
Very soon.
in like a month.
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy, exciting. It's wild. It's like thinking about moving is like, oh, like let's look on Zillow, like whatever. It's like there was just a passive thing for like years. Mm-hmm. Like I told Steve, hey, bro, I'm going to move to Tucson like years ago. Like
We were working up to it.
They made fun of me on the Frankie Muniz podcast. Steve was like, Paul's going to Tucson to chase his dreams. You know, Tucson, the epicenter of media and film and music, where an entertainment industry can really take off. Tucson. But yeah, anyway.
Well, there's something to be a big fish in a small pond, you know?
Perhaps we're going to run that town. Something made me want to smoke a cigar today. So thanks for allowing. You want one?
I do not, but thank you.
Okay.
Tobacco makes me wacky. I get the spins so bad when I smoke tobacco.
Even if you're not drunk?
Yeah. Tobacco's really... I have a very low tolerance. I've not smoked a lot of tobacco in my life.
Well, you let me know if this gets annoying.
I'll let you know. Thank you. Hope you enjoy it. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, what do you think it is about Tucson that appeals to you?
Well, I like that it's a smaller city. Like when I lived in Orlando, I miss something about it. Like you go downtown, the heart of downtown Orlando, hit some bars. Like you're going to run into people you know. It's like, hey, what's up? Oh, and like there's like a community, you know. LA is so big. There are communities here and like we have friends and stuff, but I feel like I got the most community out of LA when I lived with all my friends because it's like we just lived together and it's like great. But there's not like such a hub, such a downtown. So anyway, I'm just excited for the smallerness of it. Quiet, peaceful, less light pollution. There's laws against light pollution in Tucson.
It's true.
So
Dark sky country.
So, yeah. What are you excited about?
Well, I just was kind of asking you because I feel like you've kind of led the charge back to Tucson, which might surprise some people because I'm the one that's lived there not once but twice.
That's true.
So now I'll be going for a third time.
Third time.
But yeah, I mean, I love Tucson. I've always loved it. It feels down to earth. Feels like accessible. It's interesting. It's tasty. Like so much good food. I like, that there's lots of languages there. There's like just kind of a lot going on in the art scene.
Yeah, it's a really artsy town.
It's hip. It's like a hip little
murals everywhere.
Quirky place.
But it's the people probably, like we have friends there, like good friends.
Yeah.
Really good friends that we know we're going to see consistently. So that's nice too. Like we were looking at like, oh, maybe Santa Fe or all these places were kind of like starting at zero. We know nobody. Or we were looking at houses where it's just like so far away from anybody. It's like we would just be alone there. It was just a place to be alone.
What's so bad about that?
What's so bad about that? And actually this place we're getting is kind of like far enough outside that we'll feel a bit alone when we're there. But
yeah, in a big way. I'm kind of like trying to prep myself for the quiet. I was just thinking about it the other day on the couch because there was just this house rattles, like the windows in this house rattle a lot. So when there's helicopters, I mean, I'm sure people hear it in the podcast sometimes.
Yeah,
but
probably do.
Yeah, it's just like sirens going off. I'm like, wow, it's gonna be so much quieter when we get there.
So quiet.
Like eerily quiet. I'm excited to see what comes out of my brain in that quiet, what am I going to do to fill it? Because I'm going to be taking a little break from work for a while, so it's going to be a lot of me.
Yeah.
And then you'll be gone a lot. So, yeah, it'll be a really fresh start for both of us, and that's always exciting, a little daunting, but...
Yeah, I'm excited to see what art comes of this, because even when we were visiting there, looking at houses, like, I just wanted to paint, like, those mountains and that sunset, and I just wanted to listen to country music. We were like, like everything just, it's a good vibe. It's a dusty old cowboy town, as you often say, and I like that.
Yeah, it's a really interesting place. So much history. Yeah, I'm excited. It's like my favorite thing to just wander around that place on foot, just taking in details slowly. And I don't know, every once in a while you see this, like a cacti flower that's like absolutely insane. Just the petals are like paper thin. Everything just sort of like defies gravity. It's so susical and kind of fun. Just like a wild place. I was thinking too about our joyride through the desert not that long ago.
Yeah.
With Emily, just like listening to music and driving through Saguaro National Park, like on the west side. And it's just, I don't know. It just feels good to be there.
Yeah, there's like, it feels good. It's
feels
that,
real good.
like, indescribable. It's like when people talk about the energy of New York, like, places kind of feel away. And Tucson, it feels good.
Feels good to me. It always has. So hopefully this journey this time around will be no different.
So when you were looking at, what other schools did you look at? Like, why did you choose Tucson in the first place? You went to college there.
I did. So I went to look at the Arizona schools. I saw ASU and U of A. And I'd been to Flagstaff too, so I kind of knew about like.
So why were you looking in Arizona?
Because my mom at the time was living in Arizona, and I knew I could get in-state tuition. So I did, and it took like, I think the cost of tuition my year was like $13,000 a year for in-state versus I think almost double it for out-of-state. So that was the main thing. I was like, how do I pay for college? And just made sense. But then as soon as I came to Tucson, like I just remember stepping on University Ave, and I was just like immediately was like, oh yeah, I could totally see this. And I loved it.
Yeah,
I wanted to be away from the cold. It was perfect. So much sunshine.
Oh, you're getting away from the cold.
So, I was mainly away from the cold, yeah. So it just felt right.
And then you were there in school. You left after school, or you stayed for a little bit after
I stayed
school?
for a little after college. I started working for Emily at Downtown Community School as a preschool teacher. I was working there for a few years. And then eventually ended up moving from there to Indianapolis to work with my sister with her company. We Can Pediatric Therapy in Indianapolis, providing
Shout out.
OT and PT, aquatic gymnastic therapy. Yeah. So then,
it's suddenly like a job interview.
right? I know. I'm like, what else? I got to practice.
What's your
I'm
work
gonna be job
history?
hunting.
Yeah, I'm like,
But yeah, it's just funny how it goes, always moving around, usually with jobs. And so then when I was in Indy, I connected with Kira about the job at the Mercado District and was all eager and excited at the thought of taking that. So then that's what brought me out there again.
then I stole you away.
You brought me to California, and then, I think the real reason I wanted to stay as long as I have was probably the school I'm working for, just loving being there. So, but yeah, it is kind of wild, the timing. We were like, it had been just sort of this loose plan of like, oh yeah, we're going to buy a house, and looking all the time, just fantasizing, but still like looking at cities all over the place, And then finally being like, okay, well, I don't really want to move in the middle of the year, so it would have to be in the summer. Like, it's just kind of incredible that this house that we love worked in like the time frame that we were actually trying to allot for it.
Yeah.
Like we stayed on it.
Yeah,
we followed through. It was a lot.
Our brains work differently, like with time and preparation. Like you were always looking at a house. You're like, look at this one, and like I couldn't even look because it's like this is not going to be available by the time we're buying a house. Like I can't even wrap my head. Or like now, we move in a month, but we've begun to pack, and it's hard for me to like. Even today, we were packing up, but it's like I'm packing some. I'm not packing everything.
because I keep insisting.
Because you insisted. I'm
Yeah.
glad you did. And I like that we're packing. It's like, how do you half pack a house? You know, like, to me, it's like, we're packing. Like, let's get everything and put it in a box. Like, and don't stop but it's this weird, like, it's half done.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be in and out of town between now and our move date, and there's actually not that much time, and we were still talking about, like, going on an excursion and doing some trips to the beach and to hike and
Treasure hunting,
right? Like,
talk to Randy
the time,
about
the days are numbered.
No, you're right.
They are numbered,
It's
and
gonna
they
come
are
quick.
Yeah, it's just, I've moved so much in my life. I think there's a lot of, like, stored in stress around it for me. Like, it's just hard. It's always daunting. It just takes it out of you. You never get out of a move without being covered in, like, scrapes and bruises and like tweaked something. Just
work.
soul shattering work.
And then we're arriving in Tucson in like the hottest month of the year.
It's going to be intense.
So we're going to be like pushing the dolly. The wheels will just melt on the way.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it's just going to be a little bit of a culture shock for sure. Even though I've lived there before. You're right there. Not all right. Wrong
I forgot
way.
it was a cigar and not weed. And I like inhaled it.
Sorry to hear that. Ooh. Okay, he's back.
Whoa.
Now
Okay,
that's
I'm
going
fine,
to go to
guys.
your
It's
head.
totally fine.
That's going to be a lot of tobacco.
My voice
tobacco
is just going to
to
be
the
like
head.
this now. I burned it.
Whoa.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, folks. Almost died.
Just this idea of living in LA where we've gotten, we walk to the grocery store. It's like urban living. I've
Yeah.
never lived in a more urban environment.
Me neither.
And now we're going to be in the complete, like, desert, the wilderness.
Lifestyle change, yeah.
So wild.
We were told there's a giant snake.
Not
5
giant.
foot. 5 feet is big.
Don't say
A normal
giant.
sized
Listen,
snake
I'm nervous
I
enough.
picture like a foot and a half. That's
We're-
like your average snake.
Work on your bedside manner. Don't talk about it being a giant because
Well, it's a
I'm already freaking
non-poisonous,
out.
not a venomous snake, and apparently it's a king snake. Should we look it up?
No, I already did. I've seen it enough.
They're not venomous, and apparently its presence will deter the presence of like rattlesnakes.
I mean, yeah, to a degree.
Well, that's good.
I like that. That's good, but
a
it's
plus.
still like a creepy snake. There's something unsettling about him. No, it just...
Well, I'm excited to meet him, to be honest.
I know, me too. I respect the snake. I'm going to give him his space. I just hope he respects mine.
Yeah.
Or she. And,
she.
yeah, just don't surprise me.
No surprises. Yeah,
I don't
we're
like
not gonna sneak up on you. Don't sneak up on
I'm
us.
going to do my best, really not to sneak up or startle you, but, like,
Yeah.
don't show up places I'm not expecting to see you.
Right. That would be freaky. Just look up.
Yeah, like, I don't want to see you wrapped around a chair, like, outside one day, and I go and, like, move the chair, and there's something sliding around under it. Like, just don't be those places.
Don't be that guy.
Don't
be that
be
snake.
that guy that's
Yeah.
going to do that.
What else are you excited about for Tucson? We're really beginning a whole new chapter of life.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. We're going to be traveling a lot after we get there. I feel like we're going to be hosting a lot. I'm excited for that. Hosting company seems
I'm glad
really
you're
fun there.
excited for that.
Yeah, it'll be a little easier to breathe, I think. There's kind of
Yeah.
more space for separating activities. I'm excited about.
Yeah, because we love hosting friends. We love when friends come and visit and stay with us, but they got to either sleep on this couch or sleep. We have one room over here where we can set up an air mattress, but all the music shit is in there. So if we want to stay up late also making music, that means we got to move all the music stuff out here. And then something about just waking up and like, oh, there's someone on the couch. I got to tiptoe. Or
Yeah, and then, like,
the bathroom situation. We have
Right.
one bathroom. So to get to them, you got to either go through our room or the other room. So if someone's sleeping there and on the couch, they got to go through somebody's room to take a shit in the middle of the night. JC. and so
Yeah.
this is just much more, people get their own space.
hot.
We get to, well, yeah, you made me open a window. I'll close it actually.
Okay, sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to spread out, excited to, I think we're going to be able to combine like our art supplies, craft supplies into the music making space. So that'll be fun because a lot of times when you're working on music stuff, I need to be like doing something with my hands and making something. So it'll be cool to get those in the same space.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if people remember when we had the house in Encino and JC and I did the Comment Down Below series on which Christine sang for the first time. That song was actually stuck in my head the other day and I was like, what is this fucking song? Like, is it on the Modern Mystics album? But it was that song.
Kind of should be.
Yeah, it should come out as like That Kid Is You featuring Modern Mystics.
I like it.
Yeah. At some point, I'm going to have to quit all my jobs and just focus on music because there's so much. Like, I want to mix all those Comment Down Belows and release them.
I know, but like,
got all these
are
other
they?
albums.
Do they require? I mean, maybe they require mastering, but do they really need mixing?
I guess just a little bit.
I'm attached to them the way they are. Like,
Maybe it would take a day for each one. Or like, I could probably do it all in 2 weeks. Like, because it's mixing, but then it's also checking your mixes in the car, then coming back, making your tweaks, things like that. But
we could do it in February or March.
yeah, so we were thinking about, yeah.
You've been working hard.
Been working hard.
Working a lot.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back on tour with Steve-O, and I'll be opening the shows again.
That's exciting.
So I'm
Heard
getting
it
back
here
into
first, folks.
Stand up. I think so. I was offered it. I said yes. I guess they could change their mind still. Maybe it'll fall apart.
Yeah,
But
you thought I was going to be really stressed out that you were going to do this.
I thought you were going to be bothered by it. I feel like,
Because of the timing of how soon after we move.
yeah. I mean,
Well, I'm not bothered.
I don't even care that
I
you're
don't
gone.
even care. Go
No,
do
I just
whatever the
think-
hell you want.
I think the thing that the only thing really, or one of the things that stresses our relationship is time apart, too much time apart. Like it really, I start to just like feel crazy. Like we kind of get, it's just like we get kind of out of our rhythm. The more time we spend together day after day, the better everything just always feels and is. Like, so I don't know.
I
It's
don't
like,
know if that's good or bad, but I agree. I do notice, like, I think the only time we really ever get into, like, quote unquote fights is when we've been apart a lot. It's just
Yeah.
not kind of, not in sync, same way.
Yeah, we get kind of out of sync. Like our rhythms kind of no longer harmonize or whatever. So I don't know. I try to avoid too much traveling, which sounds like a joke when you think about how much I do travel. But
Yeah, it's like you.
unless it's something I
You've not
really
been trying
wanna
too hard
do.
at that.
But yeah, so anyway, I was kind of worried that it would stress you out, but I'm grateful that you're super supportive and down. And like, I'm just excited to open again. I haven't done stand up since I stopped opening for Steve. I think I'm going to go do like a little open mic before I take the stage in Phoenix. Because I would like to try out some new material. I don't want to just do my same.
Might
bit.
I make a recommendation?
Please.
Don't talk too much about Tucson. They don't like us up there.
I'll say I'm moving to Tucson, so fuck you guys.
Get ready for
That's my opener.
booze. Get ready for some hate.
That's my opener.
There's a bad little rivalry between the towns.
Well, Phoenix is just jealous. They're like,
I mean, Phoenix has a lot more going on, though, in terms of like development and job opportunities. Like, it's bigger,
in
so
terms
they
of
think they're better.
concrete.
But
They have more
they've got
concrete.
more concrete than we do. But don't be fooled.
yeah. No,
Yeah, you
we'll
should
see how it
do a
goes.
little practice bits.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to see if Brendan wants to go too. 'cause
Yeah, you guys were
Brendan
talking
always
about
wanted
that.
to go.
That'd be so
and there's
fun.
this thing called Fourth Wall in LA. I think I've talked about it before, but you just pay $5, you get 5 minutes, and you're just performing to a room full of the other comics who want to test out material that day. But you at least get to do it. You always get to go up, like guaranteed. You'll get your 5-minute set, and so yeah, I'm gonna do it, and maybe I'll get like I do think like it'd be nice to just do stand up like once a week or something, like actually kind of do it.
Yeah, get that muscle memory going.
Yeah, and just like build material, like something really fun about it.
Practice your timing and
Yeah. Like, be fun.
Cool.
So,
Well, I wish you luck. That
thanks.
sounds very fun.
thanks. I hope it doesn't fall apart. But if it did, then that would mean I just get to hang here, which wouldn't be so bad either. I can't tell if this microphone is damaged or... Anyway.
I hope I can get back into ceramics in Tucson. That'd be cool. I never did it there, but I want to after our class here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's cool. All right. Well, what else going on in the world?
I don't know. Yeah, zoom out.
J-Lo canceled her tour.
Oh, jeez. We bullied her to bits.
This kind of bums me out. Because how does she come back from that? Like, that's it. Is that a wrap on J-Lo?
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Like, canceling a tour because the internet are jerks is rough.
Internet wasn't having it.
Like, were people just not buying tickets, or probably? Because probably you'd feel like a loser to go to a J-Lo show right now because it's the least cool place to be because everyone's so anti-J-Lo.
I don't go to enough shows but like I definitely wouldn't go see J-Lo. You know, maybe I'm not the person to ask, but like, yeah, it's not bringing me out of the house.
I wouldn't have gone anyway.
How about that Kendrick Lamar show though the other day?
Yeah,
that was like insane.
I think he played that song 6 times.
Yeah, apparently 6 times.
I love it. Yeah, I think bless Kendrick Lamar. I like Drake too.
Do you know?
Yeah, I always liked his music. It's good.
Yeah, there's some catchy stuff.
But I mean, people always make the comparison. Drake is more of a pop star than a rapper.
Or that he's like kind of cosplaying.
Well, and like he's not like the truest artist that Kendrick is. He doesn't write a lot of his own stuff, which I don't give a shit. Justin Bieber doesn't write his own lyrics. You know, it's like he's a pop star. Like, people help him with his lyrics. He's a great performer. He's got great voice. He probably writes a little bit. But, so I don't know. That doesn't really bother me. But if you want to then say, I'm the best, like, you don't get to say that.
Yeah.
Plus, even with people writing, he's not as good as Kendrick Lamar. Like, him and his whole team aren't as good as Kendrick Lamar. He's kind of the best of all time.
Pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic moment there.
I love the beef. I love that we got a good song out of the beef. That's really what I like. And nobody got killed. I was kind of worried. I was like, come on, guys.
Let's play nice, everybody.
Nobody's going to shoot anybody, are they? Like, that would be so silly.
That would be silly.
We're just talking about who can, like, do-bop-bop-do, who can do that better. Like, that's what we're arguing about, guys. Like, let's relax.
Oh.
You know, like, it's stake your claim, but don't get carried away. Like, if someone would have shot Drake, if like Kendrick shot Drake, I'd be like Team Drake then. I'd be like, bro, you took it way too far. Like, you dummy.
I wouldn't be pro shooting him.
Yeah, I don't think that would be cool.
But
I saw some, so like,
that sound.
I mean, in Kendrick's song, he calls Drake a pedophile.
Right.
Is that just like, cause you like young girls, or like, is Drake a pedophile?
Unclear.
I saw this clip of Millie Bobby Brown. We're really getting into the tea now.
I saw some of those.
Yeah, this is her when she was like 14. I remember her saying it like on Jimmy Fallon.
Over at his house.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, he texts me all the time. And the people are like, what does he text you about? Like, oh, like about boys and stuff. And like, it's like, so you're a 14-year-old and you've got this like 35-year-old guy giving you advice about like sex and stuff. Like,
it's not looking good.
Not good.
Not looking good.
I don't know what's up with that. But I wonder if Drake gets brought down here, P. Diddy style. What's up with Puff Daddy?
It seems like he will probably. I don't know the latest. But yeah, it's just the age of the internet, you know? The age of the internet takes people down. Well, for better or worse.
The FDA took down Diddy, not the internet.
Well, I know, but it's like, I feel like people could, I don't know, come back so much easier than they can now. There's like such a record of all of the shitty things people do now, you know, just so many reminders of it. It's just harder to get away with things.
Right. Things like resurface too.
Yeah,
like
things come
maybe
back.
You said something 10 years ago. They brought it up 5 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
But they might bring it up in 20 years and try to like bring you
what
down
did you
again.
do in your sorority party freshman year, sophomore year? Like, what were you up to? What did you dress up as? Like, things come out, you know, decades later. So I don't know. Yeah, but in situations like this, it's like, how could you not be for that? You know, maybe with J-Lo, it's a little too aggressive. She's just kind of a person whose art you don't like.
Well, that was totally
you want to
different.
mock or whatever.
Yeah.
You can. You
It's
think
not like
she's,
she said something so bad at one time.
Well,
and they're like,
the reason all this stuff came out was because people in her inner circle kept saying that she wasn't a nice lady, and then that has ripple effects, and there's consequences, and then
Right.
decades out of being difficult to work with, people have opinions.
yeah, I think that's fine, I guess.
So it happens, but obviously she doesn't deserve to have her life. She shouldn't be like publicly ridiculed terribly. It's not like she did something
Right, like people
illegal
are like
or
Team Ben Affleck now, like in this divorce, right? Like,
I don't even know if the
Because they're
divorce
so
is
anti-J-Lo?
going through, or if it's, I don't know. It's only speculated so far, I believe.
funny.
But yeah, it's a lot. It's even the Justin Timberlake DUI this week. It's like, don't get me
yeah.
wrong. There were so many memes and things popping up that I thought were very entertaining and funny. But it is a little sad, this like energy to just kick somebody while they're down. But what did he do? He
It's
just
hard to look away. It's fascinating,
I know.
really.
And he just got up on stage the next day in Chicago and was like, it's been a rough week, but thank you for everybody who, still shows up for me and like cares about me and wants to be here, blah, blah, blah. And like, now what? I guess it goes on.
Yeah, but
Show goes on.
like we were saying this, but he didn't kill anybody or
No.
sexually assault somebody or like
But he could have killed somebody.
be rude. Yeah. He was reckless.
Yeah.
To me, I kind of like him more, honestly. It's like, wow, like he's like
a real human.
doing cocaine and shit and like
He didn't look well.
smoking meth.
Yeah, his eyes were saying,
Yeah, but
Things
when you're
aren't good.
arrested, it's like, but you showed me that one clip of him at a show and
Yeah,
he's just like
he looked-
bug-eyed.
yeah, he looks like he's just been
Smoking
going hard.
meth.
And it's just funny. You just hear these little things about him. Like for me, it makes me like him less because I'm like, I've seen all these clips of his wife talking about how hard tour is going to be and how he's going to be gone so much and how they're going to have to work so hard to schedule time for him to see his kids. And then you just see him like that. And it's like, clearly he's making choices that don't include prioritizing his wife and children at home,
Well,
which
he misses
isn't that cool.
his kids so much that he wants to smoke meth. and
Don't
get
love that.
drunk and
That
drive a
does not
car.
make me like him more.
Yeah, no. I just like always pictured him kind of like not like a hardcore party guy, But yeah, I bet
Maybe
he
he's
was.
not. Maybe he's having a 40-year life crisis or however old
Yeah, maybe
he
it
is. I don't
slowly
know.
crept in.
Who knows? And I can have empathy for him as a person. It's obviously, like you said, it's damn near impossible not to watch the train wreck, but it is, not something we want to like. It's just easy to get behind it with the crowd mentality on the internet, but obviously I don't like the idea of the jokes really causing harm or pain to people either.
Right. Oh, the jokes. I love the jokes. I don't want to cause anybody
Team joke.
pain or harm,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's like
I'm just joking.
he
here.
brought this on himself. I mean, you shouldn't drive drunk and like
Yeah,
people are
if
gonna
you
make
can
some
afford-
jokes. There's gonna be jokes on SNL or Jimmy
betcha.
Fallon. Probably Jimmy Fallon wouldn't touch it, but
You kidding? I'm sure everybody's gonna touch that.
but he's like Jimmy Fallon's best friend. They're such boys. Maybe he'll say something in support of his boy. He methed up,
Nice.
but yeah. And then
What you got? There
I
was
lost-
something.
I-
There was
there
something
was
there,
something.
and then it just.
There was
I watched
something.
it just float off with the
It
air
disappeared.
conditioning. It
I
just.
got nothing. It blew away. No, I don't know. We got JT. Oh, Will Smith is back.
Oh yeah, I saw he's in the new Bad Boys, right?
So New Bad Boys. I bet that's gonna be a great movie. They're always fun, like action comedy. My favorite. Will Smith, awesome, funny,
Yeah.
good actor.
He served his time, I guess, in the court of public opinion, and now he's back.
Well, I see all. I don't know. I guess we'll see how the
Apparently.
movie does.
Yeah, that's true. That'll be interesting.
Like he's going on all these interviews.
but nobody would touch him for years, and now it's
Oh, for sure.
been 4, and now
No,
a
but he
studio's
came out
ready
with
to
like
work with him again.
He came out with a slave movie after, but I bet he had already filmed it.
12 Years Slave? No, not
No,
that.
not that one. It was some other one. Nobody
Never
saw
saw
it
that.
because it was like right after he slapped Chris Rock. So it was like, come on.
We're like Team Chris Rock right now. Circle back in 4 years.
But come on, give Will Smith a break.
I-
He slapped a guy. Like his life is crazy. He's probably a little unhinged. He's probably not healthy mentally guy.
I'm not losing sleep over Will Smith. He lost control of himself in one bad moment. It's like,
Slap
it's
Chris
bad.
Rock.
You don't do that. But like, yeah, do I think he's a monster? No.
Yeah, I agree. There's worse people out there. And, you would think, okay, like when Kevin Spacey got in trouble. Which, by the way, he's back too now.
Yeah, something happened.
Even
Like
though-
all
well,
that was dropped or something. Or
I mean,
what
every
happened?
court case, civil, legal, everything, he's been found innocent. So,
But like that's questionable to me too. Like, how did he get there? What were all those accusations? Was there just not enough? Because sometimes like there isn't enough evidence to prove those things. But
that's true. I mean, he said, so I listened to him on the Lex Friedman podcast. He said, like, look, I've heard this a lot lately that everyone has a Kevin Spacey story. And he's like, I was a jerk. I was like handsy. I was like pushy. I was that guy. But I never, had sex with an underage guy, tried to have sex with someone underage. Like, I was a closeted gay famous guy, acting a fool, being really pushy sexually, and like my behavior was bad. But he's like, I never committed those crimes. That's his stance on it.
okay.
But my point is, when he got in trouble, there were a lot, like, suddenly it's like more stories. Oh, he did this. Like, everybody has a Kevin Spacey story. With Will Smith, he slaps Chris Rock. Everybody's kind of anti-Will Smith. You would think there would then be a makeup person or a costume person or a PA on a set going to the internet being like, oh my God, like, I'm so glad he's finally getting his due. Like, he was so rude to me, or he slapped somebody on set once and nobody said anything, or I never heard anything like
No,
that.
it was quiet.
So I think maybe Will Smith's actually not that bad. I hope he's not that bad, because Men in Black is one of my favorite movies.
And Independence Day.
And Independence
is absolutely
Day.
classic
He's
of the
just
90s.
so funny and charming, Wild Wild West. Like, but wouldn't there be a bunch of stories? He's worked.
would think, in
he's
the
had
age of
a
internet.
vast career for 20 plus years. He's done a million fucking movies. If he's a bad guy, we'd hear more stories. We'd have more than he slapped Chris Rock and like his
He's a
marriage
doormat
is
for
like
his wife.
fucky.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah, sir.
Oh, sure.
Sir.
Well,
Sir.
sir. Yeah, sir. Sir is, but. So I don't know.
Yeah, let him be here.
Let him back. But in
Yeah.
all these interviews, I don't see anyone asking him about the slap. I think it's like you're not allowed to ask about the slap.
Probably not. Yeah, he's done. He's done talking about that, as he should be.
He's not done talking. He never talked about it. I never saw Will Smith say anything about the slap.
I guess I never did.
I think
What about the what's his face? The guy from Seinfeld, Kramer, is going on his apology tour.
Kramer's back.
Well, he's not back yet. He's trying to get back in.
I mean, I welcome him back.
Well, it's hard because we're like uber Seinfeld fans, so we have a bias.
Sure. But I welcome him back nonetheless. I think, he yelled the N-word at a black guy. Not cool. But it's 20 years. I think 20 years ago, I think he did that. Maybe 10,
20 years ago?
12, 8. No. It was probably like 2000, 4, 6? Long time ago. Anyway, people change. People fuck up. People have bad nights. The N-word was said looser back then. It obviously wasn't okay what he did then, because people got upset then.
Right.
But like, for a white comedian to say the N-word wasn't even that crazy then.
I don't really remember the clips
Louis
or the
C.K.
audio.
has bits about the N-word. Joe Rogan had a bit about the N-word, and they say it in their bit. It's artful. They're like explaining, like, isn't it weird that we can't say this word? Like, let's talk about it. Let's joke about it. Like, whatever. But they still would say the word in the bit. So anyway, I welcome Kramer back. Plus, watching Seinfeld, Michael Richards is like one of the best physical comedians of all time.
Kills me.
Like, right up there with like Laurel and Hardy and Buster Keaton. Like, Michael Richards, I think he's unbelievable. Yeah, the physical,
I
and
know,
even just when he
everything he
falls,
does.
like trying to, he's amazing.
In the Novocaine scenes with
Yeah.
like everything he does. Just,
Or like when they got the super tight pants on,
yeah,
and he's trying to pull them off. Like,
pants.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's pretty incredible. I know.
But yeah, I saw a clip of him on The View, and it seemed like everyone was like, yeah, I think it's okay now. You can come back now. you know?
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah.
I mean, as the pendulum swings, I think we're going to see a lot of the opposite of cancel culture
Yeah, I mean, we love a comeback story too, right? We love that Lindsay Lohan's doing better and she can return to make the worst chick flick that's rom-com that's been put out all year. We love that for her.
I didn't watch it yet.
Oh, I watched. It was
it a Christmas
truly
one?
terrible.
I saw a Christmas movie, like a Hallmark Christmas movie she did, which was as bad as any Hallmark movie.
I don't even remember anything about it. I was totally zoned out. Like, it did not capture my attention in any way, shape, or form, but I watched the whole thing anyways. And yeah, it was like her meeting some Irish guy or something. I don't think it was Christmassy.
Okay.
It's like an Irish wish or something like that. It's just
Luck of the Irish.
It had potential. It did not deliver. But I'm still happy to see her out there.
Yeah.
Coming back, doing her thing.
I mean, she was just kind of a mess, right? She didn't do anything racist or something. She
didn't do anything racist. She just partied really hard in her 20s and kind of got lost to that for a while. Couldn't, I don't think, keep her get work for a while.
But that was at the tail end of the American public having no sympathy for a 20-year-old famous person and what that's
now?
like. I think a little bit. I don't know. I remember it was oh, can you believe Hillary Duff tried to get into a club? She's only 19. It's relax. Of course she's trying to go to she's a famous 19-year-old. And of course, Justin Bieber is drinking too much sometimes and everyone's following him around filming. So he's losing it a little bit and acting up and getting rude to camera people. He's fucking 20 years old and he can't get a second.
Stop, yeah.
Yeah. But it's the attitude oh, boo-hoo, poor you. You're rich and famous and you're sad about it. I feel like people don't act quite like that as much these days. There's a lot more empathy. Yeah, that must be, there's good and bad to everything. And I think people see the bad and empathize with it.
Yeah, I think we're getting to be, I think we're getting to be more emotionally intelligent collectively, as the younger generations age up. I'm pretty sure. My dad was talking to me about this the other day and how he thinks our generations are getting softer and softer and how problematic that is, and was kind of mocking that there's quiet spaces in a lot of schools now where you can go to process things and take sensory breaks and kind of decompress, and that we're supporting that. I'm
that sounds great.
Just laughing because our school's literally building an outdoor space just like that, this summer, it just...
Yeah.
What's so bad about that? Taking time to feel your feelings so you can acknowledge them, feel them, and work through them instead of just keep them stuck inside your body and morphing into anxiety and other things, just letting it spin out. It's good. It's good to focus on. And so, yeah, I think we're doing better.
Yeah, I think.
But what those celebrities maybe had to put up with paparazzis, they didn't have to deal with the internet. And the internet is absolutely ruthless.
But paparazzis are kind of gone because of the internet. A little bit, right?
It's maybe less in your face than it was in that time, but
now everybody's
at your
paparazzi.
fingertips. So it's it's just constant.
Yeah, it's weird.
Everything's documented. You can't roll your eyes without somebody seeing it and being your husband deserves to leave you and take everything. It's terrible,
I know, people are so, it's funny. I feel even when people are trying to be nice on the internet, it doesn't work. There's all that pictures Pierce Brosnan's wife.
I think they got divorced.
Oh.
Finally.
But she put on a little weight.
Yeah.
As she got older, which is fine. And people were so many posts I would see she's so brave in this bathing suit. They're trying to be supportive, but I bet she doesn't like that. I bet she does not appreciate being called brave for putting on a bathing suit. You know, I don't think she's a fan of your kindness.
Yeah.
That you feel you need to post about.
Yeah, you don't need it's hard, but people do feel entitled to comment about your body or your everything,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's just the anonymous nature, I guess, of it. And the safety in numbers that comes with trolling. And I still troll things online all the time, and I just go to that comment section and I just start looking at everything that I want to say that I don't say.
Yeah, so you're not commenting.
I'm not commenting.
But we love a good shit talk. We talk shit. All we talk is shit.
I do talk some shit.
But talking shit is good. I like talking shit.
Gotta get it out.
And it's like, it's comedic. It's recognizing the ridiculousness of something and laughing about it. I think that's great. And some people out there act ridiculous, and we make fun of them for it. We act ridiculous, and people make fun of us too. Like, our whole family is like, oh yeah, I tried watching your show, but you guys don't even, everything you say is like false, and like you don't even look it up if it's correct. You just let it run. You know, like, and people like talk shit about my music or whatever. Like, people talk shit, you know? So on one end, people are like too ruthless. On the other end, people are too sensitive.
Perhaps.
I think
sensitivity that's my whole point, is sensitivity is a strength.
Depends. Sensitivity to what? If someone says, Paul, your music sucks, like on a post, and if that ruins my day, that is unhealthy sensitivity on my part.
That's true. I would agree.
You know, like, but like, yeah, to be sensitive to others' emotions.
And your own. Yeah.
I think but like the insecure type of sensitivity is really stupid and silly, childish. I think.
Waste of time.
There was a great comment so I was on the last episode of The Wild Ride, and Steve was talking about his dick tattoo, and I like promoted my music on it. And then there was a comment on the YouTube video that was like, Paul's music is like the dick tattoo. Paul's music is like the dick tattoo of music, or something like that. It was like, Paul's music is like an audible dick tattoo on your face. I don't know. I'm butchering it, but it was good. But yeah, I don't know. I think like we're getting better as a society at like being aware of each other, being aware of everyone else's experiences. Even the least like conscious, awake person right now is like way more conscious than someone in the 1700s who was like studying philosophy, probably. You know, like just the awareness of the world and things and like our existence and our, you know, just all that. I think overall we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
But it just feels, I was talking about this with dude, you know, like the internet. Well, they say like if two people team up on something, a third mind is created. There's a term for it. Maybe it's third mind. I don't know. But like, so you have your mind, I have mine. And when we work together, like there is this kind of third entity that is then formed. And, you know, companies kind of like, things kind of funnel into like a single entity a little bit. So the internet is kind of like a collective consciousness of everybody using it. But it's really young. It's like a 4-year-old. So like it cries a lot. It's like really sensitive. Like it doesn't have emotional intelligence. It's mean. It's selfish. Like our collective intelligence on the internet behaves like a child.
Yeah, we need some manners school.
We need some manners school. We just need to grow up.
Etiquette school.
We just need to grow up. We need to like live life. We need to mature a little bit. Frog. So I think over time, like our behavior as a collective consciousness on the internet will grow up and will kind of evolve and change.
I hope so. I believe in us.
Me too. Believe in the human.
I try. I try. Yeah, we're good. World is good. Fake it till you make it.
What else do you want to talk about? Big election coming up.
Oh, God, don't get me started on all that.
Is Arizona Republican or Democrat?
And actually, I think it went blue in the presidential election last year for like the first time since I
Okay, so it's like a half and half kind of spot.
Yeah, there's a lot of like retirees and old folks out in Arizona. It's rural in a lot of ways, so there's a lot of Republican investment, but you know, ASU is a big liberal hub. U of A is a big hub. Tucson tends to be more left-leaning than Phoenix, and Scottsdale, there's like more money there, and you know, Republican obsession with limiting taxes and things like that up there seems to be the issue.
I don't mind limiting taxes.
Yeah, I just also don't mind paying for public services that benefit the public.
Sure. I love a good public
You know?
service.
I love a good public service, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just obviously, and a well-balanced approach to taking
Sure.
care of everybody in society, high and low, and, you know, kind of just making sure we're looking out for people who are vulnerable,
Yeah, I like that.
as well as fiscal responsibility. Republicans like latch on to fiscal responsibility like it's their thing, that they're the ones that like know how to do it, and liberals are not.
Right.
And I don't think that that's quite fair.
Seems like nobody in the government
Seems
is
like
fiscally
everybody's
responsible.
failing at that little talking point, so
Yeah.
we can move on from that.
I love this. And the Christianity is really popping off lately, it feels like. Maybe it's just my Instagram feed.
No, it is.
But it's like everyone's
Do you know about
Christian
Project
again.
2025?
I've heard about it.
Have you looked into it?
No, not really. Tell me
It's
about
like,
it.
I mean, just it's been a minute since I've looked into it. It's like truly like terrifying. I
It's
mean,
like Christian nationalism
yeah,
agenda.
on steroids.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really brutal. I mean, there's already little moments of it happening in Louisiana. They just voted that all public school classrooms are going to have to showcase the 10 Commandments. Like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Go fucking back to England. Like this land was founded off of religious freedom. Like, no, that includes not wanting to practice.
And I love this argument, like, America was built on Christian values. Like, what values? Which ones? Like, it's not against the law to, like, say, God damn it. It's not against the law to cheat on your wife. Just stealing and murder.
Isn't it against the law to cheat on your wife?
No.
I think so.
Oh, shit. I'm just...
I think it is like legally you're
no.
breaking your contract. I mean, if you were to go to get a divorce,
It does hurt you in divorce court. So I guess it affects...
so
There's a legal... There's
there are
something.
legal
Huh.
ramifications
Let's look that
to cheating on your spouse.
But, like, capitalism is the least Christian value there is. Capitalism is like, I want everything, give it all to me. Greed is good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get more. Let's try to get more than we need. Like it says in the Bible, rich people don't go to heaven. Like, yet America, Christians, let's start a business and try to make some money, you know? Like,
yeah.
what values? Where's the Christian values that we're built on?
But yeah, this is Project 2025. We should pull that up too and just look at the talking points because I don't want to put words into
What was the thing I was going to look up first? Oh,
the.
is adultery illegal?
I mean, I'm sure that changes state to state, but there are more and more laws that are like making it harder for women to get divorced. More laws on the books about women not being able to get a divorce while they're pregnant. Basically, more and more controls against women, trying to making things harder for them to get like business loans, like pretty much everything that they can do to like keep women in the home. Like there's some traditional values that seem to be popping up in a really aggressive way.
And Republicans are like, we want small government. Like, don't have the government tell me how to live my life. Like, I just want the government to stay out of my business. But the government should not let you have an affair. What does the government have to do with you having an affair? Like, by the way, so these are the states in which adultery is still technically illegal in some states in the United States. However, illegal. However, these laws are rarely enforced. States where adultery remains a criminal offense: Alabama, Arizona, you better watch it, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Kansas, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, New York, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Utah, Virginia, and Wisconsin.
It's a lot.
That's like half the states, or a third. The penalties for adultery vary by state and can range from fines to imprisonment. However, these laws are primarily symbolic and are not commonly prosecuted.
Sure.
Still, though, it's fucking dumb. I mean, I guess a marriage is like a legal contract.
Yeah, right.
So
There's tax like you
right.
pay taxes as a couple. That changes like your status. So, I mean, the government, that's why they care about
Right.
it.
Because if you and I
that piece.
sign a legal contract to go into business together, let's say we're not married, and part of that contract is like, no, you're not going to go work for some other company that also makes coffee or whatever, and you do that, like it infringes on our contract, and I could take you to court over it. So maybe that's kind of where the adultery that's why the law is concerned with adultery. What is Project 2025?
Yeah.
All right. Project 2025, also known as the Presidential Transition Project, is an initiative led by the Heritage Foundation aimed at preparing for a potential conservative administration following the 2024 presidential election. The project focuses on 4 main pillars. Policy agenda. This involves creating a comprehensive policy guide, the mandate for leadership, which includes specific proposals on various major issues. The guide draws on the expertise of numerous conservative scholars and former officials. Personnel. It aims to recruit and train tens of thousands of conservatives to take positions in the federal government. This includes building a presidential personnel database to identify suitable candidates.
Like I've heard that this is like going to be that like how to tell if a candidate meets those criteria. They have to admit that that Trump won the election. Like
that
they're
Jesus
looking,
is Lord.
yeah. Basically, they're like this is like cult. Like you have to be in this cult to get those jobs, and they're planning to stack branches of government like from the bottom to the top with these people who are loyalists to these ideas, which is frightening to me because they seem, frankly, like extremists. And I know there's a lot of people who aren't that extreme with their beliefs and what the Republican Party stands for, but like this stuff to me is truly terrifying.
I mean,
No, let's keep going. Keep going.
so then it also says training. The project offers workshops, seminars, blah, 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 through the Presidential Administration Academy to prepare these recruits for government service. And then there's the 180-day playbook. This playbook outlines actions to be taken in the first 180 days of the new administration to implement conservative policies. It's garnered some support, and obviously I'm kind of skimming here, but it seeks to dismantle what it views as the administrative state and enact significant changes across various federal departments to include policies related to reproductive rights, education, and labor.
Yeah, they're coming for reproductive rights. They don't care about workers. Like these are the things I'm hearing. Like the takeaways are there's so much in between the lines, I guess is what I mean.
So because we have this binary party system, each party's just always going to try to get more power. Maybe doesn't have a website and doesn't have something, but I'm sure Democrats say, okay, let's try to grab as much power as we can right now. We have a Democrat in office. Like we need to kind of gain ground. We need to get Democrats in office. I'm going to support this Democrat mayor in this one town because we want a Democrat running that town. Like we disagree with their policies, but the sort of the nature of what they're trying to do doesn't seem that.
Keep going. Are you serious?
Well,
they're literally reworking the entire government. They want to give the president like almost unilateral access to power. Like it is totally reworking everything that like America's known for the last.
Well, let's just go. Do they have their own website that explains it?
I mean, yeah, they have their own website.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, they have their own website, and it's scary.
All right, let's see.
I thought you were already on there.
No, that was just ChatGPT. Project2025.org. Let's see. It is not enough for conservatives to win elections. If we are going to rescue the country from the grip of the radical left, we need both a governing agenda and the right people in place, ready to carry this agenda out on day one. This is the goal of the 2025 Presidential Transition Project. The project will build on 4 pillars. Okay, so this is ChatGPT was pulling from this. So the policy agenda. Building on the legacy of Mandate for Leadership, this comprehensive policy guide for the incoming presidential administration will offer specific proposals for every major issue facing the country, pulling from expertise of the entire conservative movement. So let's see let's read the policy agenda.
Please.
Okay. Our goal is to assemble an army of aligned, vetted, trained army.
An
is a fun
army.
word.
Yeah, it's a really interesting
Our goal is to
word.
assemble an army of aligned, vetted, trained, and prepared conservatives to go to work on day one to deconstruct the administrative state. Okay, so there's this book called The Mandate for Leadership that it's like their Bible maybe, other than the Bible.
Second Bible.
Policy contributors include former elected officials. So this is just talking about this book. The next conservative president will enter office January 2025 with a simple choice, greatness or failure. It will be a daunting test, but no more so than every other generation America has faced in the past. The conservative promise represents the best effort to the conservative movement in 2023 and the next conservative president's last opportunity to save our republic.
It's funny how I could feel the same but opposite, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's the
Which
dumb...
speaks to your point before.
Right. That's the goofy shit about our whole system.
But
It's like...
But I mean, it's just crazy that you're going to call the left extremists. Like, the left
Well, there are
weren't
extremists
literally
on the left. There are extreme
okay,
left.
well, they weren't storming the Capitol and trying to take over our government and say that they are the ones that know how it's done and the rest of the people are false. Like, that's not happening from the
Well,
left.
that's the extreme right.
Right.
The extreme
Which is
left...
the people who are making this.
Sure. The extreme left would be like, we should have completely open borders. We
Okay,
should
but
let kids...
Where are they? Where are they? They're not raising armies.
I agree.
It's a very big difference. They're mobilizing people with like
I don't know. You
violent.
could argue that like the college campuses that are so liberal leaning and like where the farthest left kind of ideology is enforced and encouraged is on college campuses.
Sure.
Where
and
they're
people
training our
protest and
youth,
they put up
you know, it's like
tents.
the-
They sit in tents and they occupy space. They don't go out and take over the Capitol, storm
No, but
it
No.
with weapons
No. I agree.
and tell you the election results aren't believable. Like,
Well, they did when Trump won. The extreme left argued Trump's election was false and that there was collusion.
and again, there
They
wasn't a
argued it.
violent uprising
You're
to
right.
support that idea.
There was not. But there is a far left. There is an extreme
Of course,
left.
yeah.
As well as an extreme right.
There is.
Okay, so I asked, like, how are these candidates deemed suitable? Because you said, like, they have to accept the election or something like that. So through rigorous selection and training process. 1, identification and recruitment. Cast a wide net across the country to identify conservatives from various fields who align with their values and goals. Presidential personnel database, a database created to store information on potential candidates. Selected candidates undergo extensive training, blah, blah, blah. Candidates are vetted to ensure they have the right ideological alignment, professional qualifications, and commitment to the conservative agenda. This vetting process is intended to ensure that those selected can be trusted to carry out the project's goals and handle the responsibilities of their roles. Yeah, it's like you could read it two ways. If I'm like a conservative who's not far right, I would just say, yeah, okay, they're trying to do good stuff. They want to get some conservative values, clean up Washington, and like just make sure that they're unified on all this so that they're able to get as much done as possible.
I would think that that's the naive way of looking at it.
And then the other way to look at it is
They're
like,
inciting violence.
okay, these are like basically,
Threats.
this is kind of how the Nazis took over.
Right.
You know, like we're going to infiltrate the government.
There's a lot of parallels to the Nazis in these moments.
Yeah.
It's super problematic.
Yeah, I mean,
So yes, big election. I saw something though interesting the other day, and it was like this video of how you can kind of get a lot of energy back when you stop thinking of America, the nation, like always being at war, and instead realize that like our nation is war, and like the rest is kind of just the puppet show to distract us. Like we are an imperialist force that is always looking to like gain land and resources and power around the world, which is why we always have money for other people's war and American school kids go hungry. Like there's, you know, like all those moments that leave us racking our heads. We're just like racking our brains, just being like, how do they constantly cut food stamps, or how do they cut all these basic things? And then meanwhile, there's just like endless money for arms and things. But when you realize that that's like the true agenda here.
well, the agenda is
it kind
money.
of frees up some headspace because you're not wondering why.
Yeah. I mean, the agenda is money. Like, it's that, you know, like Jesus said, money is the most important thing in the world, and you should do everything you can to make as much money as possible.
Oh,
you know,
really?
that Christian value that America's
Yeah,
built
yeah.
on. But, I mean, it's money. Like, money is controlling way too much of our life, and we've let it open up a crack and just to the point where it's just completely flooded our whole system. Mm-hmm. And like the war machine is probably like $1 trillion industry at least, which is has so much control over the government that there's just no escaping that.
Right,
Same
which
with
is
big
like,
pharma.
and then
Same with all these lobbyists. Like it's crazy. It's crazy that we allow that. I think most people would, like most Republicans would say, yes, it's crazy that lobbyists can control our government. Like everybody's frustrated about this, but then they use this Democrat Republican thing almost like it's a distraction.
Oh, 100%. It's
Like
the shiny thing in the water,
like
which I fall for all the time.
We're like two gladiators in a coliseum, and we think, I got to kill that guy, or he's going to kill me. Like, that's my enemy.
But we never look to think about who's organizing the
Yeah,
gladiator
like, what about
game.
that guy up there?
Yeah,
like,
the one that
who's
keeps
watching the whole thing
the puppet
and
master.
just enjoying it and just fucking, like, and if we would just team up, we could kill that guy.
Yeah,
But
there's
he's
like
got us so
40,000
focused on each other.
40,000 people in that stadium. They could go and have that person's head in a minute.
Just take him out.
But no.
But no, we're too easily manipulated, and these powers of manipulation, they've gotten better at that too.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like it's a well-studied, well-executed.
Right, which is why they're coming for American education system. Like,
But
why?
is that even it?
Yeah, they're talking about disbarring the EPA and the Department of Education and completely taking apart all of these government agencies under the guise of they're not doing a good enough job, which I agree, they're not doing a good enough job. I think they could do better. But they're going to just like try to eliminate it and
But
make
that, to me, feels like the gladiators. That's
I mean, it
the
is.
other gladiator in the Coliseum. That's not the military-industrial complex. That's not
Perhaps,
big
you're right.
pharma. Like, that's our supposed enemy,
it's the Christian state,
the Christian state,
which I'm
which is no good.
not into.
I'm super against. Not only are they destructive, but they're fucking annoying. No, I'm super against like this Christian nationalism. It's ridiculous.
Gotta go.
It's gotta go.
Gotta go in 2024.
But how do you
it's
make
like,
it go? Because
I
if you
don't know.
fight it, it just gets stronger.
I know,
You almost
it's-
have to say, "Bless you, brother,"
No, I don't.
and
I fucking
I'll pray
don't.
for you. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know. I'm so sick of this. Like, we're built on Christian values bullshit.
Yeah, and I'm sick of having two shitty options in terms of leadership. Like, You know, it's just.
Yeah, so what's up with that?
I don't know.
RFK Jr.
Do better, Democratic Party. Like,
they won't
come
let
on.
RFK Jr. do shit.
Or like, yeah, I mean, I think so many people would probably love to see like a solid independent candidate that could get away from the rat race of it all. Like somebody who could be different, you know, like whoever it is. But we just get the same old shit.
Like, who would that? It would like.
I don't know.
It would
who
only
be.
someone like that. It would be like Joe Rogan or someone like that. Is the only, who else
like
has
up
enough?
and coming politicians? I think.
But tied to no party.
Yeah.
What's an up and coming independent politician?
I mean,
like you have to be, and they're not going to let you debate. CNN's not going to talk about you. Like you're not going to be let in. You need to already have enough reach and be independent. Mm-hmm. Like,
yeah, I don't
who
know.
other than Joe? Like The Rock? Could The Rock run? You know what I mean, though? Like,
I think Paul Rudd just won a seat, like not a senator seat, but like a councilman seat or something in New Jersey. He's like, we're going to be so classy. We're going to be a theater town again. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of cute. But nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Matthew McConaughey's getting involved in politics now. Did you see that in Texas? Like,
I did.
You know, people are getting out there. But not as an
independent, I don't think, is he?
No, I don't know. But I don't know. There's a lot of people that might want the job. I'm certainly not one of them.
I would love it. To me, the only thing, the good I see here, like with cancel culture, like with everything, there's a pendulum. It swings.
You always say that.
It's true.
But it just doesn't comfort me when we're in the thick of it and we're fucking flying this way and I'm about to come whipped this way. I'm anticipating a crash and it's stressful.
Here's the comfort for me. Like, less and less people over the past 4 years have occupied the middle. You either love Trump or you hate him. Same with Joe Biden. So, like, we're so like this. And if we keep pushing so far like this will just fill up. These people will turn around and be like, fuck it. And then it's like your only chance. If the Democrats and Republicans just stay kind of like this, you'll never emerge like an independent party. But if they go so far both ways, which they kind of are pushing that way, and it's so divisive, like it's kind of the only chance and maybe the only time, like 4 years from now, that an independent could actually become president.
I hope you're right. I hope we still have presidents in 4 years.
Or elections.
Not in
least.
elections.
Yeah.
And
I would love elections.
Not one
in 4
dictator
years.
with a fucking bad toupee.
I know. I hope I'm wrong, but I really fear that Donald Trump would just not leave. He'd find a way to declare some state of emergency where he doesn't ever have to leave office.
I don't have a lot of confidence that he respects how our democracy has historically worked.
I don't think he knows how it has.
I don't think he knows that. I mean, and I don't know either.
Yeah,
but
we're
I'm
not
also not
experts.
trying to be president.
Sure.
So I feel like I'm off the hook. I just have a podcast where you don't come to for facts. Don't come here for facts.
Don't come here for facts. Come here for
us
to
fun.
talk about a half hour about Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah,
That's what
come
I'll
for
tell you.
fun.
Come to just hang out.
Yeah. It'll be exciting to set up the new podcast in our new place.
Yeah.
And we'll have to actually probably warn you guys. I feel like this will probably lead to a few weeks of downtime potentially with some serious travel and the move coming up. We've been on a good roll bringing back the episodes after our long pause, but now I feel like there's going to be a little short one again.
I'm going to go on a limb and say there will not be.
Oh, who will win?
And we'll see, because I think we can stack episodes here, like try to get ahead a little bit, just 3-4 weeks ahead, and then once we get there, I mean, it's just the first episode there will just be the two of us, probably for a while.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, some people like those, but for us to sit down and just talk, I think we can pull it off once we're there.
Wish us luck.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of boxes around. It's fun.
Yeah.
We keep looking at the Zillow pictures because, again, okay, we spent maybe 20 minutes in this house.
Yeah. Found
We
it
looked
like
at it,
on
we
our way
liked
out
it.
of town, last minute, spontaneous little visit.
And we made a move on it. And we haven't been back to it.
Right.
Now we have it. it's our house.
It's so crazy.
We bought it.
That's what we did. Yeah.
And we haven't seen it again. We kind of were like, do you remember this room? Like,
We had a washing machine.
where's the
didn't
washing
we?
machine?
Where's
You asked
the
me that
washing
today. Where was the
machine?
washing machine?
Yeah.
But anyway, we've been looking on Zillow, like where are we going to set up the podcast? Because I'm so excited. Every time we do this, I have to set this up and break it down. I'm not complaining. It's not that bad. But it'll be really nice where it's just, we're going to put it somewhere. It's just going to be there.
I'm gonna live there.
But it'll probably move around. Like maybe we'll try a spot for a couple weeks. Like, oh, okay, let's try, like, so you might see a little bit of adjusting before it finally finds its perfect sweet spot.
Brace yourself. Thanks for your patience. We appreciate you being here.
We love you.
Yeah.
We love the Elkies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fuck yeah. Anything else?
I mean, no.
Good night, everybody.